Hi everyone, I'm Patrick Brown and welcome to the new monthly project number 44, and the theme for this month is versatility. And just as the title suggests, it's a really fun creative challenge where you have to see how versatile you could be as an artist. So there are 3 different art styles to try out. There is life drawing, cartoony, and digital painting. So 3 very different art styles to try out, and each art style has its own techniques and challenges as well. You know, it's very different in their own ways. For instance, life drawing is all about trying to get it as accurate as possible to real life, whereas cartooning is more like a caricature. You can go wacky, you have to exaggerate expressions and features of the face, so it's a total opposite. And digital painting is really more about going in between and trying to be a little bit more stylized. You're not going to go so lifelike, but you might not go too cartoony. You're going to go right in the middle and be a little more stylized and try and polish it off with some digital painting in a really stylized manner. I created a tutorial to go alongside this monthly project, so I had a bit of fun with versatility myself. I chose Jack Nicholson as a subject. I wasn't really happy with my life drawing. The cartoony one was pretty fun and wacky, and then I did some digital painting at the end, which was a lot of fun too. I did feel a little rusty in the life drawing. I haven't done that for a few years. I mostly focus on stylized kind of characters, so yeah, it was a big challenge for me as well, and a lot of fun. And the biggest takeaway from doing these challenges is you might find a new technique or something that you've never tried before, and you can implement that back into your usual art style. So it's a great way to find new techniques. Anyway, let's dive into all the submissions. I really want to check out what everybody's done, so let's have a look. Each month I pick 3 submissions to critique, so congrats to Cy, Andrew and Douglas. I'll get into those very soon. Our first submission here is from Cyril, and this is really cool. I love what you've done here, especially the setup. I really love the life drawing version here, and you've really sketched that out. Looks really good. I like the way you've drawn all that. Here is the cartoony caricature version right in the middle there. Very cartoony. I love the stylization in that. Just how edgy that is and exaggerated those muscles are and the facial expression. So cool. And this is the digital art version over here. Very good. I love the way you've done all that. Very nice rendering as well throughout, nice and clean. Very vibrant colors. I really love this overall. I just think it's great to see these all side by side. Love what you've done there, Cyril. Would have loved to see just a little bit more difference between the last 2 here. They're almost just a little too similar, just slightly. But they are different in their own ways. Still works really well. But I feel like we could have went, maybe with the digital art style here, could have been something completely different that you're not used to, maybe more of a painted look or something rather, but just so that you can experiment with a totally different style. That's the fun part of it. So otherwise, I just think all of these are really well done overall. Awesome work, Cyril. All right, next up we've got Jason. You did Austin Powers, one of my absolutely favorite movies. You've got 2 versions here, so you've got a caricature, very cartoony version here of Austin Powers. Really well done, by the way. Have a look at that. Look at those details. Just really well drawn. Super cartoony. I love that. And here's your digital art version of him as well. Overall, these are really cool. Really well done. I probably would have liked to see just a little more difference between them. They're very close to being the same kind of style, if you know what I mean. So maybe with this version here, the digital art one, you could have practiced a little more with a whole different style for fun, you know. Maybe with less black outlines would have really separated them. Having one, this is drawn with some really bold, nice line work, and maybe this one could have been a more painted kind of style, or something completely different, maybe, you know, similar to maybe a Spider-Verse or something, that kind of style, very artistic, do you know what I mean? That painted look, to mix it up a little bit, that's all. Overall though, like, I'm just talking about for the experiment, but at the end of the day, this is really well done. I think he looks great. And I love the caricature here. So cool. I love that. Next up, we've got Liam. And you've done, it's Timothy Chalamet from Dune. This is great to see, this whole setup. I love how you've got the reference there. We can see all the others broken up into their own sections. So we've got realism right here, done really well. Love the way that looks. Very good match when you look at them side by side as well. Love the way that works. You've got the cartoony caricature kind of version here, and the digital painting. So I really love this. This is done so well. The realism sketch, I really love the style that you've chose for that, like especially with the brown kind of paper, and you've used some white highlighted pencils as well. Really cool. Looks like you've had fun with that. Very creative. That's something that I want to try out. I kind of wish I did something like that. When I did my approach, I tried to erase out some faded grey lead to get those highlights, but this looks, I should have tried out something like this. Absolutely beautiful work here. I just think that's great. Really good likeness as well. You've got the cartoony caricature, and I love how you've got the likeness, and it is definitely like exaggerated into a caricature. His main features, I would say, yeah, definitely his nose. He's got a very prominent nose, very masculine as well. Like it's just, I don't know, this is really cool. I like the way that you've stylized this. It's awesome. And here's the digital painting. I really love this approach. It's very kind of a painted look with texture. So this is great. Really cool to see. I just love that texture that goes throughout the entire piece there. I really like the way that's done. That artistic touch to it. Great work, Liam. All right, next up we've got Pat, and you've chosen Catwoman. Do you know what? I love this choice. This is not something that I would have thought of, but choosing Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman is brilliant. I personally love her portrayal of that, and this is beautiful. Look at this life drawing that you've done here of that. I love the detailing. That's done really well. I especially like, so this one here is the digital painting version in the middle, and that is just so beautiful. It's expertly done. I really love the shine, like that shine on the leather, the black leather. This is just looking really good, and it's just spot on. I really love the look of her there. It's just so smooth and clean. I just can't get over it. I love it. The cartoony, exaggerated caricature version over here. This is beautiful as well. I really love that rendering that you put through, but you've really captured that cartoony essence, super exaggerated. Looks great. I love this. Top work there. And it's not all you did. You actually did another one here. This is Sylvia, from the Loki TV series. And yeah, she was the variant. And this is really cool. I like this. That life drawing version of her is really nicely done. And here we go. We got the digital art version right in the middle there. It looks like you've really mixed it up there with the painting style. I've always loved the way you do your digital art. You've done that really well there. And there's the caricature over here. So that's the exaggerated version. Really nice work there. You've just outdone yourself, Pat. I love it. Okay, time to get into the critiques now. And we're going to start with Sai. And because of the project being versatility and trying out these different styles, I think I might approach these critiques in a little bit of a different way, because I don't want to claim to be an expert or anything in life drawing or even in caricatures and things like that. So I'm really just going to point out things that I personally would adjust. I just think it would be better handled that way, just to have a second set of eyes basically go over these and give you some little tips that might help you, that kind of thing. So this is really cool. Sai, you've got the rock. I love this. Great choice for for this kind of thing as well. I love the caricature. That's so cool. And so over here, this is the life, especially the life drawing version of him. We've got the caricature, and then we've got some digital art of him as well. Now, yeah, I think the first thing I probably would have loved to see this as more of just a drawing or sketch, like a life sketch drawing, maybe traditional with pencils or something like that. because at the moment it's a little too close to just digital art. It's in the same kind of boat as that. It does look realistic from a distance, but yeah, very clear that it's digital art. So I probably would have loved to see, a bit more variety, or just mixed up, you know what I mean, so that they're all completely different in their own way. I might just mess around a little bit with the caricature. I feel like I love how it is. Hang on, I'll just show you. Overall, I actually feel like for the rock, I probably would have went super wide and like solid. You know what I mean? For him, this is just my opinion of it. Don't worry, it's not like I'm strictly saying this is how it has to go. Like I said, I'm just going to do what I think, personally, what I would have probably done. And smaller nose maybe just through here, and then I don't know, maybe overall like smaller up the top completely, like this. And then those big pearly white teeth. Maybe I probably would have had them a little more up, smilier. I don't know. Probably a bit more life in those nostrils, you know what I mean? Like just flare them up a little bit more. I don't know. Get those eyes to kind of look at us a little more. And as well, like I don't know if I can do it here, but I'd probably go smaller pupils for cartoons. There we go. I just did some adjustments there. I actually think I'll just get a brush out. I feel like maybe slightly we could do something with the eyebrows a little more, just a little thicker or something. Just for the caricature version, like just maybe fill in those little gaps there, just so it's a little more stylized. Yeah, maybe more like this, just a little. I felt like that was just the one thing that I wanted to see when I looked at it, was just a little bit thicker eyebrows, just slightly. Something like that. Now, I'll just flick it between, so that was the original, and then now it's just my opinion, just what I thought when I saw it. Just thicker, because he's so thick and massive and huge. I thought a bit wider, and maybe the nose slightly smaller and more prominent mouth, with those big pearly white teeth. And like I said, with the eyes, this is not necessary, but I feel like I want to go a little smaller with the pupils. But like I said, it's not completely necessary, but so that's what it was. And then now there's just smaller pupils, more cartoony kind of thing. I'm trying to work out whether I like them better the other way or your way. I think maybe, if anything, I'd probably go even smaller. I don't know. The only other thing is you could shrink the pupils like this. Whereas the way you had it was like that, or this. But yeah, that's just an idea. But to be honest, I kind of like the way they are here. The way you had them, I'm gonna just keep them like that. I like that. But there's the caricature version. So something like that. I mean, it's just, like I said, just an opinion. I feel like the big smiley cheekbones are probably what his prominent features are as well. You see, he's always had like really big cheekbones or cheeks when he smiles, and a tiny little head. I think what I would like to see on this is probably, more defined, structure the eyes with eyelashes a little more, things like that, Just feel like that's what this needs, just a little bit of structure around those eyes. And I'm just refining the details around the eyes a little more as well, not too much, but just recommending. And again, just probably thicker eyebrows, more defined, bit of shape into them and things like that. So I'd probably just darken them as well, a little darker. And then with the nostrils as well, just a little bit more structure around, just shape that nose a little more. I would probably do around the creases of the nose as well, just a little bit of structure around there, a little bit of a shape around them. It doesn't have to be outlines or anything like that, like I said, just some shape. I'm just darkening that top lip there. I might even just shape this bottom lip a little more. And same with like the ear as well. I'd probably just put a bit more shape and just, yeah, pull it together a little more in the ear. So just details around, mainly just shaping where the shadows would all go and things like that. So just a little bit of structure really goes a long way. Like, you've done most of the work. I just really wanted to, I would love to see just a little bit more tidied up. So there's the caricature, and I'll just erase that part off the side so you can see both of them at the same time. Yeah. So without and with just, I'm just doing some touches to it. Yeah, that's all I'll do for those. I've got to move on. Haven't got too much time today, but yeah, I hope that helps in some way, Si, because I don't know, I just really love what you've done here. You're such a talent, and always love seeing your submissions. So thanks so much for submitting. You've done an awesome job. Next up, we've got Andrew, and you've done Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village, isn't it? Village? Yeah, I believe. That was an amazing game, and I played through the entire story. Loved it. Brilliant game. If you've never played it, get onto it. This is a really great submission. I love seeing your work, and what you've done here is really cool. The variations between styles here is awesome. Over here you've got the life drawing, you've got this is the cartoony, exaggerated caricature version, and then digital art over here. So very cool. Alright, now for the critique, I really love the detailing in this drawing over here. I love this. Beautiful work. Now I'll just show you, for people who aren't familiar with Lady Dimitrescu, I think that's how you say it. This is her here from the game. Very cool. She's a vampire kind of like lady. Very, very huge too. She's like a giant. She's like really big in the game. Like 10 foot tall or something even bigger. Yeah, a really, really great character. Very popular in the video game world. And so I've got these as references just to help. I think you've done a really good job of your drawing. The detailing is absolutely beautiful. I'm just going to try and help with, I might focus on this life drawing version first and see if I can just give any kind of advice and tips. Like I said, I'm not a life drawing expert. There are people way better, and but I've got, as an artist, I can be a second pair of eyes. So I'm really going to help any way I can there. So I'm going to use Liquify to start with. I feel like maybe I'll just pull that over. I've got this reference here of her there. I feel like maybe she needs some more hair in the back, like buffed out. So just more room for the skull up the top, the way that where the head is, the head placement would really help. So you can see what I've done. I've pushed the hair out to the back a little more. Ignore the mess that's through here. The ear shape, I really need to kind of shape that a little better. So the ear just needs a little more shape. I would love to see these eyes bigger to start with, maybe just a little bigger each. And I'm just trying to give her that cat eye effect, you know what I mean? A little bit more just curled up, a little more feminine. And then I just feel like her nostril needs to just go up slightly. So I'll just move it up a little more, so a little more life or like fuller in that nostril, you know what I mean? It's a little too thin. And overall just a smaller nostril, so see that? A smaller nose, I mean, slightly. And just a little more volume in the lips would really top this off. So I'm just gonna pull those lips out a little bit more. There we go. I'll just leave it there for now. And I'll show you just before and after, just so you can see my adjustments. So I just felt like, a little bit more movement or room in the back of the skull with just more, so the hair can be laid over and thicker hair, kind of buffed out to the side a little more. But yeah, really great drawing overall that you've done there. And what else we got? We got the stylized cartoony version, very cool. I think, what I would probably do with this one here, the only thing I can really see, is probably the skin tone overall on her is probably just a little too dark, because you can see by the reference over here, she's very pale. I'd lighten it up, especially for a cartoon. I would lighten it right up and then just desaturate even a little more. So I'm desaturating slightly. And then I'll bring back some of the original cartoon, maybe for the hair, things like that, the hat, just so that we can get that. And it's just her skin that's kind of been brightened. And I think it'll just pop more as well. It'll look a lot more like, more accurate to the character. And I think that's very cool. And then what you could do is have where the shadow is, you can see the shadow goes over her face, like that, of her hat. And you just keep that like that. So before it's covering too much, you see what I mean? And the cool thing about, bringing that back is you can have those yellow eyes really pop through the darkness kind of thing, which I think is cool. Drawing wise, I don't really have any changes because that's a cool style you've got there. If anything, you'd probably I'd get the hair itself. I'll see if I can get it without touching the outlines too much. There we go. So I've selected just the hair and then darken that because I feel like that'll help. I'll darken the hair down, you see, to pretty much black almost. And I think that's going to really make it all pop a lot more because she does have pretty much black hair. I love how you've got the outlines lightened around the hair too, and that texture is really cool. So I think that works really well there. I'll just show you the original before I did anything, and then now. So that's really all I would change on that. That's the original, and then now just that skin tone lightened up, really play around. I'd probably, one more thing would be really cool to see that massive detailed necklace around her as well, to really finish off the piece. Like, it would have been really cool, but it doesn't matter, it's not important. Same with this one over here. I won't copy what I did here because you can see, but I would probably lighten up that skin tone on her as well over on this side. Something like that. And similar to what I did with size, I would probably shape and structure some parts of the face a little stronger. So under the chin, I would probably put like some kind of outline, or under the nose, a stronger kind of outline like you have with the eyes. I would keep that consistent, the inking through the eyes, put it under the nose, under the chin. You don't have to do it really anywhere else, just those areas. You've already done a little bit around the ear, stuff like that. So I would keep that consistent. But here, the skin tone, you see, lighten it up. I think that would really, it would just help it look like her even more. Anyway, awesome work, Andrew. That was really cool. I love seeing what you've done there. Hope all that helps. There's the originals for all of them. And awesome work. All right, last critique. We've got Douglas. You've done, let me have a look. So this is actually Laurel and Hardy here. Very classic, these characters here. And you've done those. You've got a life drawing here. You've got the cartoony version and the digital painting version over here as well. These are really cool. Nice to see you really mixing it up, trying out a lot of new different techniques as well. I'll just put a reference to the side here just so I can have a look here. Very cool. All right, life drawing. I like what you've done. I feel like it's almost still leaning in, like it's a little too stylized still, just slightly. So it's still leaning into the cartoony world almost, just a little bit. But it's really, it's well drawn. But maybe just slightly too cartoony a little bit still. Not cartoony, just stylized. You've got the cartoony version here in the middle, which is really cool. I like what you've done. It's definitely your style. Very out there, colorful, it's awesome. I just feel like it might not be enough like him. It's almost pushed too much into the artistic side, where it's not really a caricature anymore. It's a little bit too much on the artistic side. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's very hard to critique your kind of work, but I would have loved to see like a more of a drawing or outlined or keep the likeness, do you know what I mean, and really warp it and just go bonkers with it. This is a little bit, it's kind of like neon, like it's glowing in some ways. It's very kind of trippy. It's hard to explain, but I do really love it. And I'm sure you've learnt some things along the way, because that's what this experiment's all about, is trying out new techniques and new styles that you're not used to and really pushing yourself. So I really like it. It's hard to critique. I won't redraw it or anything like that. I don't feel like that's not what I should be doing. But yeah, digital painting, I think this is really cool. It's nice to see. I think you've based it off your original life drawing. It is stylized, and I can see that you've pushed the stylization a little more there. Yeah, I probably would have maybe pushed the exaggeration slightly more, because I can still see that it's matching the life drawing a little more. So maybe like the original photo here, you could really push those eyebrows up like this, and even warp them up, you know, slightly up like this. So I've just played around with Liquify and kind of warped it a little more to kind of trying to match the reference a little more, and exaggerate almost those features of his eyebrows really lifting up and that happy kind of funny look on his face. Now, I think all it needs is some tidying to really, you know, fill it in. I think one of the main things I'll just fix with the eyes, I'll just change my pen. I need to fix those pupils. So I'm trying to stay true to your original digital art, and I'll keep the original pupils. I've just made them smaller, mainly. That's one of the main things I've done. And I just want to warp this one a little bit more to fit. I may need to go just a little smaller than that, I think, to really help fill in that space there. Here we go, and I think I just need to try and frame the eyes a little more. You know, same as what you've done. I'm just going to curl in, try and match what you've done there with the lashes, sticking with your kind of style. And the rest is really just, yeah, I'm going to try and do something with some of this digital art shading through here, some cell shading that I can see you've got going through there. So if I can do, so we'll get the eye sockets like this, right? And I'm just trying to shade in, looking at this reference here and the creases in his eyes. I'm going to try and get that same kind of look. And up here can be much smoother. So we'll get rid of that line up through there. And we'll stick with your cell shading that you've got throughout. And just with the cheek part here, I think we could merge that, get rid of that big line through there, and really put in just a nice big solid chunk of cell shading right there, and minimize that big dark shade there. I think that'll really help this a lot more. And up through the bridge of the nose, I might even, we want to go a little more subtle with that darker line up through the bridge. So I'll sample that shade, and we'll just continue, we'll use that to thin out that line, taper that out, and use it so it's just like a cell shade now. I think that'll really kind of help bring this together a little more. And then we'll get that same sample of that cell shade there and bring more of that over to this side, where we should probably have a little bit of a darker shade under that big smile of his, that big smirk, and really pack that in around here. It's just so we can have some consistency through the shading in the face. And we'll also do the same under the neck, just up through here, just to help, you know, frame the face a little more as well. And you can even do it under the chin here. You can really pack in that cell shading a lot more under the chin, just like in the picture. A lot of heavy shading under there, really framing that face now. Now what I'm going to do with the ear is, I feel like we need to thicken up the bridge of the ear, so a little more, like probably that thick, and then have the rest of the shading on the inside of the ear like this, quite thick, and down, just to add a little bit more depth through the ear. Same on the other side, I'll just thicken up the bridge of that ear the bridge. I mean the cartilage, or the whatever you want to call it. And lastly, well, not lastly, I'll just do a little bit more throughout, but I'm just trying to structure the face, add a little style through the shading, the cell shading. But yeah, I'm going to sample that shade there. We might continue it up under the hat, as if the hat is casting just a slight shadow under his head. I know the reference almost doesn't seem like there's too much of a shadow under there, but we will do one for ours. I think it'll just look a little more natural like this. I think it'll just look nicer. Now the other thing we're going to do over on this side is we need to try and bring in some shading under this second eye like this. So using like a sampled shade from here, I think, yeah, I want to use that to try and come up underneath these eyebrows, a little bit over here, but mainly just try and get that second eyelid framed over this way. And then some more shading under the eye as well. Always have some shading under the eye sockets. Even darker than that if I can. I'll try and go over here. Yeah, a little darker. So you can actually remove that line, I would say, that darker line, just to make it more appealing overall. We don't have darker wrinkles kind of too much under the eyes. And then, yeah, treat it as cell shading instead. And I think it would come across a little nicer like that, yeah. And then we'll get this lighter tone and frame the eyelid. And that should do it. I need to fill in the hair around that ear a little more there. There we go. Just lightening those pupils a little more too. And I think that'll probably fix it. I'll just have a quick look. Maybe I think we also need just some more shading underneath the actual nose, like around here on the tip. Alright, so we've got before and after. I was just trying to exaggerate a little more in the features. Mine's a little more exaggerated than his. The eyes are almost a little too rounded, I think, maybe. I should probably squint them a little more. Let me just see what that looks like if I do squint them more. Yeah, so that was before and after squinting them a little more, just slightly. Yeah, glad I did that, because he does have really little eyes too. But I really just wanted to point out the detailing in, around the eyes and those eye sockets. Really trying to make sure the cell shading is where the shading is. And like I said before, it really does depend on what reference you've got. You've got to make sure you've got a really good reference that has solid shading and it's easy to base it all off. But anyway, I'll leave it there. I'll hide that one there too. Yeah, great work, Douglas. I hope that helps in some way. I'm sorry if I didn't give you too much there to work off, but yeah, running a little tight on time today, and yeah, all right, that was fun. And yeah, thanks to everyone who submitted as well, by the way. What else have we got here? Yeah, Andrew, and we've got Sai as well. But yeah, thank you everyone who submitted some art and submissions today. That was so much fun. I just love the idea of, yeah, setting all of this up and really mixing up your styles, really pushing yourselves to branch out and try something completely new for yourselves. Even if you are touching on your own style and using it again, that's fine. But yeah, I really wanted to try and test everyone's limits and do something kind of wild. I really love that Catwoman. How cool is that? But yeah, anyway, thank you everyone for watching. And if you're new to Patreon, yeah, feel free to join in on these monthly projects. You can head over to patreon.com/PatrickBrown and jump on board. And I'm always throwing out new challenges. We've got art competitions and tutorials every fortnight. Character draws as well there. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. All right, thanks for watching everyone. See you in the next video.